Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the PG Show, where we talk about all things college football. And today, we got to talk about one specific 2024 recruit that got a boost in the 247 rankings and is going to be here this weekend. But before we do that, go ahead, please hit that like and the subscribe button. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comments below. Do you think David Stone will commit to the University of Oklahoma, or will he end up going somewhere else like Michigan State? Okay, so this one's going to be more of a quick video for you. And as most of you guys have seen, David Stone, the man of the hour for the University of Oklahoma and OU fans, a native to Oklahoma, I believe, if I remember correctly, coming out of Del City, Oklahoma, where he moved to Bradenton, Florida to play at IMG Academy, which is just an anomaly and a powerhouse of high school football as it is. And we've only been able to see his profile rise, and we've only been able to see this guy move up throughout the recruiting rankings since he's been there. Now, while Oklahoma has certainly been one of the early favorites to go in and grab David Stone, you've seen places like Michigan or Michigan State, Texas A&M, and Auburn who have really just kind of came out of the ashes to try and help emerge themselves to try to lead for just an enormous, whatever, you guys know the word, elite defensive tackle. Here's the deal. When I look at David Stone, there's a couple things I notice, right? One, he's big, and he's going to check in at, I think, roughly about 6'4", I think hanging out around that 275 range. And he's really going to be able to leverage that body weight with, when you watch his tape, the man's got some really strong hands, right? So if you look at specifically one of his tapes from the Under Armour Rising 50 or whatever they call it, you watch how he uses the technique, especially with his hands. The man's got some elite talent there. And this is a talent that you would expect for Todd Bates and Brent Venables to be able to close and be able to keep him home, especially when you hear all the rumors and all the talk about how he's potentially homesick, how he wants to come back to Oklahoma. He loves it here. So for Oklahoma to not be able to go in there and close this kid and to be able to bring him into Norman, I think would be an extreme disservice to what we are able to do for him and at that position in the state. Throughout multiple sites, he's ranked in the top 25, but 247, one of the main leaders in the recruiting industry, they gave him a bump to the number 4 overall player in their class. When you go look at the 247 composite score, he's currently ranked number 9 overall. But regardless how you look at it, Oklahoma has a chance to land a top 10 defensive lineman in 2024. Not to mention, you're also going to be in the running for Zadavian Sims, T.A. Cunningham, Nigel Smith, and many others. And hey, David Stone has made it known that he would like to be able to go play with David Hicks. So if Oklahoma can go out there, they can close David Hicks, and they can get him to Norman, you would think that the University of Oklahoma would have a great shot with a guy like David Stone. And I just want to read you guys through a couple of his stats that he's had through 2021 and 2020. I don't have his 2022 stats up yet, but through 2021 and 2020, he had 71 tackles, 24 tackles for loss, 10 sacks. 9 of those came in 2021, 2 forced fumbles, and 1 fumble recovery. I love what this man is able to bring. He's a dog off the line of scrimmage. He's a guy that has explosiveness, and he's got some strength to him. And again, we talked about it in his hands, and he's going to be able to use a lot of that strength and everything in his hands with that technique to be able to move around some elite offensive linemen. And so David Stone is going to be able to come in and make an immediate impact day one for the University of Oklahoma. It just comes down to, hey, is Todd Bates and Brent Venables going to be able to go in there and be able to close this kid and say, you need to be at the university? Now, a lot of that's going to be able to come into factor, right? Oklahoma fans have to do their part. Not that NIL plays a huge factor into David Stone's recruitment, which we've seen him say he cannot be bought, but we still have to do our part to be able to provide an NIL deal for him so that he can come to the University of Oklahoma, feel comfortable, and feel like he's not leaving something on the table. Regardless whether you feel like it's buying him or not, that's what we have to do. We have to do our part while Todd Bates and BV go and do their part. He's going to be at Bedlam this weekend with David Hicks. I would expect to see some major crystal balls coming out of this week with the level of recruits that are going to be there. But we will go ahead and dive into that one in another video, so you guys can stay tuned for that. But go ahead, let me know what you guys think about the 5-star 247 top 5 player. Man, that just sounds good. 247 top 5 player, David Stone. Where do you guys think he's going to land? Is it going to be the University of Oklahoma, or is it going to be somewhere else?